Justin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yay, because remember last time you were here and you were trying to get on and I couldn't help you.
Yeah, well, what happened was you had unmuted me and I unmuted me and I talked, but then once I muted myself again, it wouldn't let me unmute again.
Oh, God. Well, they're not going to do that to us this time.
I hope not. Not that I have anything to say. So I actually will go ahead and mute myself because I don't have anything to say.
Okay, well, we were just talking about the weather and the horses and
Mhm.
it's really thrilling stuff.
Unrelated things.
But it is 6 o'clock, and so I'm just going to start the meeting. And I'm going to say that it's being recorded. Yes, it is. It'll be, when the recording's available, it'll be posted on the Town of Monterey YouTube site, which I have not been to yet, I'll say. In keeping with the open meeting law, no one may speak except as recognized by the chair. Discussion will be limited to agenda items. If you are recognized, assuming we get a big crowd here, please identify yourself. And in consideration of all attendees, please keep remarks brief and relevant. The chair will move to adjourn the meeting if necessary. So at this point, we've got Michelle, Katrina, and Justin. And thanks for coming, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
I want to note that John Silbert is not here only because he had a conflict. He had another meeting. But maybe he'll come later, which I would like because those things on our agenda include reviewing the ledger sheets and taking a look at the budget, which are things that he is very expert at. So we'll look for his expertise either later today or at the next meeting. So I will just state for the record that the agenda for tonight is to read the open meeting law complaint and deal with its ramifications, including creating a response to it. To approve the minutes from 8/17, 10/12, and 10/26. When we get to it, to review the ledger and to schedule some budget meetings. So back to the top, we'll get the most distasteful aspect of this out of the way quickly. I received, well, I'm not even sure when I received it right now. I guess it was 10/29. An open meeting law complaint from John Silbert, and it was directed at both myself and Katrina. And I will read as quickly as possible the part that I will read the whole complaint, and then we'll decide how to deal with it. On September 30th, 2021, through public records request, I received copies of emails between Michelle Miller, chair, and Katrina Fitzpatrick, member, constituting a quorum of the public body and containing deliberative expressions in violation of the open meeting law. 1, communication is between or among members of the body. 2, communication constitutes a deliberation. 3, communication involves a matter within the body's jurisdiction. And 4, the communication does not fall within an exception listed in the law. He further goes on to say that I wrote to Fitzpatrick, quote, due to lack, but of course, please note that the quote is out of context. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Due to lack of a vote on Tuesday, the town could go into default if we don't get this done, end of quote. Miller expresses an opinion before the board, which constitutes a deliberation on a matter within the board's jurisdiction. As an aside, Miller's opinion is incorrect. Towns do not go into default if transfers for the payment of bills are not authorized by the end of the fiscal year. Fitzpatrick replied, oh goodness, like I said, my vote will be yes, except on the one for the highway, OT, and you have my permission to sign for me. Fitzpatrick expresses an opinion before the board which constitutes a deliberation on the matter within the board's jurisdiction. Fitzpatrick not only expresses her intention to vote on a matter that will come before the board, she gives Miller permission to sign for me. See attached. And I actually don't have the attached with me, but Katrina, maybe you do, and Justin, I can forward it to you. In any case, he further goes on to say that this is the fourth or fifth open meeting law complaint filed against Ms. Miller and the Monterey Finance Committee since June 2021. At this point, the violations need to be addressed by the AGO as complainants are receiving no admission or relief from Ms. Miller. Signed, John Silbert, 10/29/21. So that being said, it is required that we respond, and that would be the two people named in the complaint, which is Katrina and myself. We need to respond, I believe it's by the 18th of November. I have the date somewhere. In any case, I have written my response, and it's my feeling that, and this is all something that we will agree to or not, Katrina.
Okay.
That your part of the conversation needs to be answered by you, because as I pointed out in my response, I did not respond to you. So I did not engage with you, and therefore you would need to express your understanding of the situation on your own. And as I said, you have at least a week or more to come up with that.
Okay, I never received the complaint from John Silbert.
Oh, you didn't, lucky you. So I will need to send it to you. Oh, and it reminds me, I was going to send you that email with the minutes that we're going to be considering or not. Okay, well, all that being said, to go back to my response to the complaint is this. To whom it may concern, response to OML complaint of 1029 by J. Silbert. Silbert refused to vote on essential transfers or conduct, I don't know, excuse me for 1 minute, timeout. Katrina, do I have your, let's just make this so clear. I make a motion that Katrina and I respond to this complaint individually, as like there's not, it's not connected. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So we are in agreement, it's unanimous that we're going to reply separately.
Yes.
All right, well, that being the case, then I can submit your reply with mine under the date, or you can supply you can make your own mailing to open meeting law people with the complaint once you get it.
Okay.
Your choice, as far as I'm concerned. So Silbert refused to vote on essential transfers or conduct other business at Finance Committee 713 meeting to make an example of our newest member, Katrina Fitzpatrick. See attached. I was going to attach the letter that he wrote to the select board. By refusing to fulfill his responsibilities to the town, creating an impasse, it is essential that the town fulfill its financial obligations in a timely fashion. Doing that required an emergency meeting. Both the select board chair and town administrator are in agreement and supported my decision. Silbert's understanding of the circumstance is different. Requesting Fitzpatrick's presence was not a deliberation, but a reminder of the agenda. I cannot speak to Katrina's reply as I did not engage with her. Her response will be attached as well. As I have responded thoroughly and in a timely fashion to the 6 open meeting law complaints, 4 from Silbert, with no follow-up, and taken the online training, I am confident in having fulfilled my obligations to the open meeting law. And so that's my, my response. And I will send you the complaint at the end of the meeting.
Okay,
All right, so then let's get on to the real business of the Finance Committee, which is considering our minutes. And wonder, did you get the email I just sent you with the minutes?
let me check. Did you send it to my Gmail or my town email?
Your Gmail is the one I
Okay.
always end up sending to for some reason.
Okay, all right, I have them.
Okay, so do you want me to read them? The other thing is, let's see. Well, why don't we read through them quickly? I know them. I'll skip over the parts that are like kind of boilerplate, but we get to review of outstanding open meeting. This is on the 8/17 meeting.
Mhm.
View of outstanding open meeting law complaints. Silbert 6-4, Silbert 7-6, and Wolin 8-4. 6:03, Silbert arrives. We restated the protocol, the discussion of procedure for open meeting law response, which is typically designating the respondent by vote. You made a motion to designate me to respond. I seconded. We voted 2 in favor and Silbert abstained. Okay, Miller then read a summary of the response into the minutes to be submitted on 8/20. Request again minutes from past finance committees. The chair recognized Silbert, who submitted a letter restating his opinions, reopen meeting law complaints and responses to be added to the next meeting agenda. The letter is incomplete at this time, and I'm not going to explain that to you because I don't know if I can. But I guess I can. I can just say that there were 4. That letter contained a letter, if you've read it, to the select board in which he referenced some PDFs that he used in his investigations into nonprofits in town. And those PDFs were not submitted with the letter, and therefore they're missing from the select board meeting minutes. And though I've informally requested them from John, I have not yet received them. So I feel as though I'm going to be putting 8/17 minutes or 8/17, this letter, on the next regular meeting we have. So I'm suggesting that we pass on the 8/17 minutes to give John an opportunity to have a say.
Okay,
I move that we table the 8/17 minutes until the next scheduled finance committee meeting. Do have
I
a
second.
Okay, we agree on that. All right, the next one is simple. We called the meeting to order. It was you and John and Justin. Hi, Justin again, and Don Coburn and NK, who I never figured out who that was. So this was a really simple one. It was to pass the special town meeting Article 1, which I won't read, but we voted to transfer that money for the fire department grant, and we followed the recommendation of the town accountant by using free cash. There was no discussion. We all agreed, and we adjourned at 6:08. On 10/26, as usual, the meeting was recorded by Zoom. It was John and I only. Katrina was absent. Unfortunately, I got your text during the meeting. Once again, open meeting law response to a 10/6 complaint by John Silbert, which I did do a response, although it brought up some confusing questions on whether a vote is actually required, and I'm going to have to look into that further. So we discussed the minutes for 7:16, 7:13, 7:15, and 7:22. Comments were submitted by Silbert after the meeting had begun, so we were a little bit backtracking during that meeting. But we did agree that a listing of transfers in the body of the minutes is sufficient rather than attaching a list of transfers. And he did withdraw his request for recordings for minutes that we approved. And he stated that any documents presented or referred to in public record must be made available as per the open meeting law through the records access officer. And we agreed on that, which brings me back to the minutes for the 8/17 letter that we don't have yet. We also had by that time agreed on doing business without your presence, which was a marker. We amended the minutes on 7/6 and 7/15 to be unanimous. Silbert objected that his absence at the 7/22 meeting was due to lack of notice and did not want to approve those minutes. We disagreed over procedure on the 8/17 minutes as not being on the agenda and the reasons for that, which you know. All right, so then we voted to accept the amended minutes, motion to adjourn, and we were done by 6:24. And that's it for the minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes excluding the ones from 8/17?
I'll make a motion.
A second. So we agree that the 10/12 and 10/26 minutes have been accepted.
Correct.
Just writing that down. So have you looked at the ledger at all?
I've briefly skimmed over it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a lot to take in, and maybe, I don't know, Justin, if you want to chime in here, if you've looked at it. But I'm just getting it out and spreading it out over my desk. I'm going to propose that for our next meeting, which I think as the budget season starts, we'll probably schedule it for, I'm just getting out my calendar. I think the 30th, I'm anticipating that we will be ready by then to talk about budgets. So if we were to really drill down, and by that time we'll have the end of October ledger, which will bring us even closer. But just to see how money's moving through, if it's moving through at a good rate, haha, like a healthy bloodstream. I do know that there's two issues that we're going to be having to consider when we start talking about the budget, which is the perhaps greater cost of our new legal counsel. We'll have a little experience with that by the time we get to finishing the budget. And the other is that the budget for the highway department salary will go over for the position that Sean's leaving because he still is owed 2 weeks of vacation. So those are just the only two little things that we need to know in advance or to consider. And then also, I think Melissa sent you the budget as well from last year? Katrina?
I have the budget workbook.
That's it,
And
yeah.
let me,
So anyway, like I
So
said,
yes, I do have that.
we're also not going into depth tonight on that, but to have a couple weeks or less to familiarize ourselves with it, and then to begin to meet on the budget. Are there times when you're not available? I mean, what is your preferred? I know like Tuesdays at 6 o'clock has gotten to be quite a good habit, I think.
Mhm.
And some of the meetings that we need to have, well, as we look, I see a list of meetings we have to have. About 20. And I hope that we'll be working closely with Justin at least on that. Because it's going to be more of a team effort than it was last year. Oh, look,
Right.
somebody's on an iPad. Wonder who that is. Anyway, I think that's the end of our agenda. But I want to wait and see if this person that's joining, at least to say hello before we say goodbye. But I will make a motion to adjourn as soon as we've done that. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
I don't have anything, so I'll second that.
Okay. Justin, do you have anything you'd like to share with us?
No, nothing in particular, just coming to learn and stay up to date, that's all.
Good. Well, I'm glad we're in touch and working together on things. So, is this person really coming? No, let's not. All right. Well, in that case, I move we adjourn the meeting
I'll
and
second.
6:21. And thank you both for being here. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.